Hello everyone and welcome back. In this lecture we'll continue our discussion on basic introduction to Python. We'll look at some more of the basic syntax in Python. In the previous lecture we looked at how we can give variables their names. So we looked at how naming is conveyed in Python. We mentioned that we can use upper or lowercase letters or even an underscore for naming, but we cannot use punctuation characters like %sign or the dollar symbol for naming Python objects. And we also looked at indentation is important in Python. Now let's continue our discussion. So one important Python statement is the print statement, and you have seen me doing print and then in quotes this statement will be printed, and whatever is inside the quote will be printed. So that's how we can print a statement. We use the print keyword or statement, and then whatever we want to print, we include it in either double quotes or single quotes. In this example, it's in double quotes. We could also include it in a single quote. This statement will be printed. So it's the same. We can use single quote or double quotes. What if I say print I am cold? So in this case Python is confused. So you have the print statement, so it expects a quote, either single or double. So we have a quote here, and then we have another quote here. So Python understands the print statement is here, right? And then you have this M and then cold. So Python is confused in this case. And what happens is if I run this, I'll get an error. So if I try to run this statement, I am cold, and run it, it says syntax error, invalid syntax. Because for Python the statement ended here, since the quotation is here. So in this case what we can do is we can use a combination of single and double quotes. So in that case we can say print I am cold. You see here we used double quotes to enclose the entire statement, and then we have a single quote in our statement. So this is how we can use a combination of single and double quote. So I am cold. Similarly, we can use the reverse print. Let's say we can include everything in single quotes and say he said he would be there in a few hours. So that's also appropriate. So we have our print statement, everything is enclosed in a single quote, and then we have a double quote in our statement. That's appropriate. If we run this, we get he said and he would be there in a few hours. Okay, that's how we can use single and double quotes. Depending on what you have in your statement, you can combine it both. And earlier you have seen me do using the pound symbol. This is a comment. What does a comment mean? A comment means when we run the cell, it will not be executed. So if I run this, nothing will happen. A comment means a way to add some more description to our code. but we don't want it to be printed. For instance, I can write the following. Let's say a function to add two numbers. So I'll be defining a function, define, and I'll call it add numbers, and then it takes two variables, x and y. So don't worry about this, I just wanted to show you some things. And then return x plus y. So this is a function that will take two variables and xy, two variables x and y, and return the sum of the two variables x and y. And here I use the comment, a function to add two numbers. So this comment is a description of what this function does. So it says a function to add two numbers. So whoever is reading a code will know that this is a function that will add two numbers. Okay, so that's how we can use a comment to add more description to our code. That's one way to use a comment, and we can also use it in separate places. Let me give you another example. Let's say print the value of x and y is, so we can add a comment here, whatever we want, right? So comment goes here, or we can also add a comment here. Comment can go here too. In this case, simply the statement the value of x and y is will be printed. Okay, let's see this in action. So let's use the raw input function. This raw input function is a function used for prompting a user. So we can say raw input, and then please choose a number. Okay, let's add a comment here. So we can add a comment and say this will prompt a user to enter a number. So this is a function that will prompt a user to enter a number, and in Python 3 use the function input instead of raw input. So for Python 2 users, use the function raw input, and if you are using Python 3, use the function input, and then your statement, please choose a number. Good. Now let's run the cell. So if I go here and run it, it says please choose a number, and then let's say 8 and press enter. So 8 is printed. So you see here, that's another way of writing a comment. So right next to our statement, or at the end of the statement, we can say this will prompt a user to enter a number. So these are some ways of using a comment. Again, a comment will add description to your function or statement or your code. Next, let's look at multiple line statements. Sometimes our code could be very long and we want it to continue on a new line. In that case, we can use this backslash. That means it continues on a new line. For instance, we can say print, this is going to be a long comment and it needs to continue on a new line. Don't you agree? You see how long the statement is? So this is one long statement. So let's continue this statement in a new line. So we can include a backslash. So instead of putting the entire statement in one line, we used a backslash to continue the statement or sentence on a new line. Now we can run this. So we get, this is going to be a long comment and it is to continue on a new line. We have our indentation. That's because we indented here. And then it says, don't you agree? You see how long the statement is? So if we don't want the space, we can just continue it and then remove the space and run it again. Now we got a better statement, right? This is going to be a new line. Don't you agree? You see how long the statement is? Similarly, we can copy this and then paste it here. I just wanted to show you how to use this backslash to continue statements on a new line. So we can remove that. We can bring this back here and then cut it here. So this is a long statement. Yes, I agree, it's a long statement. And let's cut it here. Continue on a new line. That looks good. Let's cut that here on a new line. Let's remove this and let's put this back there. Okay, so this looks appropriate. Let's run it, and then we have our statement. So whenever we have a long statement or a long code, we can use the backslash to continue on a new line. Next, let's look at triple single quotes and triple double quotes. So what does triple single quote and triple double quote means? Similar to comments, anything in triple single quote or triple double quotes will not be executed as part of our code. For instance, let me add this inside a triple double quote. And then let's print some statement here. Print the value of x plus the value of, let's say, 3 plus 6 is, and then we can say 3 plus 6. So for triple double or triple single quotes, we don't need to include the backslash. So if we run this, we get the value of 3 plus 6 is, so we have our print statement that's executed here, and anything enclosed in triple double quotes or triple single quotes will not be executed as part of your code. Okay, so we can put, that's another way of commenting, right? So you can add as much description as you want for your code. And let me remove this. Now if I run this, this is printed, right? So that's just what we are printing. We have a new line. This is going to be a very long comment. Don't you agree? And then blah blah blah. We have a new line. So backslash n means new line. We look at this when we learn about strings. So backslash n means new line. So we have backslash n, new line. Backslash t means tab. So if I say print, hi there, and then let's say backslash n, new line, let's say how are you, and then we can say backslash t, I am good. So \t means tab, \n means new line. So if I run this, I get hi there, and then new line. We have how are you, and then \t means space, and then we have I am good. So that's the meaning of \n and \t. That's what we have here. New line, new line. So you see here, whatever is enclosed in triple double quotes, if you are just printing it, it will print the value. Whereas if we have another statement here, print the value of x, the value of 3 plus 6 is 3 plus 6, while when we print this, we only print, it only prints this whatever is in the print statement. So this adds more description to your code. We'll look at more of this when we learn about functions and object-oriented programming. So similarly, we can also put our multi-line comments. This is also called a multi-line comment since it's sparse over multiple lines. So we can put our multi-line comments in triple single quotes. So it does the same thing, triple single quotes. And then, no, I don't want that print statement. I want this statements. Let me paste it here. Okay. So multi-line statement, and then we can have our print statements here. Let's say print the value of x is 5. If we run this, we get the value of x is 5. So this is used for, again, this is used for multi-line comments, triple single quotes or triple double quotes. We'll learn about this when we talk about object-oriented programming. This is also called docstring, documentation string. Don't worry about it, but we'll see it in depth later on. I just wanted to show you the use of triple single quotes and triple double quotes. Great. To summarize what we looked in this lecture, we saw that we can use the # to enter comments, and comments are a way of adding description to our statements or functions or our code in general. And if we want to continue our statement or code on a new line, we can use the / character. And we also looked at the use of triple single quotes and triple double quotes. Thank you everyone, and I'll see you at the next lecture.